Hi, good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started.
So if everyone will take their seats, that would be great. My name is Allison Stoll, and I'm the director of District 1 Coalition Office. And I would like to welcome you as well as our city councilors, our city budget office, engagement officers, civic life, and each of you, dear neighbors, to the District 1 City of Portland budget listening session. So for just a quick moment, our coalition is a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization that's been building informed, inclusive, and participatory neighborhoods since 1981. We proudly serve as a district coalition office for 14 neighborhoods that make up District 1 in the outer East Portland area. On behalf of our more than 100 civic, business, and community-based organizations in District 1 Coalition, we thank you each for being here tonight. And thanks especially to Parkrose High School for allowing us to host this wonderful event. So tonight, please take care of yourselves. There are water tables outside near the door that you entered in, and the restrooms are right out these doors and then straight down the hallway to where the water cooler is, and you'll find both restrooms there. We also have some wonderful little snacks outside. However, because of this beautiful theater, there is no food allowed in here, so you're welcome to snack in the hallway or to take something with you on the way out. I know that many of us are carrying a sense of uncertainty as we come together around tough budget cuts that our city is facing. Tonight provides an opportunity to speak directly to the leaders who will make very difficult decisions about the budget, and for you to show them ways in which these decisions have real impacts on your lives. Our mayor and city council are here to listen. Mayor's not here quite yet, but the city councilors are here to listen. The people know our communities. You are the people who know our communities best. And as you stand before them, know that your words matter. Your stories matter. You are not just advocating for yourself, but for your families, your neighbors, and the future of our city. We may not all agree on how every dollar should be spent, but each one of us here, because we deeply care about our city and we share the same goal, a Portland that is thriving, equitable, and sustainable for all who call it home. So please be kind, be respectful, and be neighborly. And this is just a little overview of how tonight's going to go. Councilor Avalos will kick us off in just a moment, and then we'll receive a brief budget overview from the budget director, Ruth Levine. After that, engagement officer Amanda Garcia Snell will introduce the budget reduction exercise that we are all invited to complete tonight. And finally, engagement officer Garcia Snell will instruct us on tonight's in-person and online public testimony, and will call each of you up in order to get into a queue. Okay? So again, thank you for showing up and for showing that you care about our city. Now please welcome Councilor Avalos and the District 1 city councilors.
Thank you. Good evening. How are we doing, District 1? That's right. This is a historic moment for our district, so I want us to be hype. This is an opportunity to talk with District 1 and the rest of our city council about what you need in our budget. So I am Candace Avalos, she, her District 1 counselor. Let me start by signaling my amazing colleagues. First and foremost, my district colleagues, Counselor Smith and Counselor Dunphy. And then we have some of our other counselors from District 3, Counselor Novick, Counselor Zimmerman from District 4, also the Finance Chair, Mayor Wilson, and Counselor Canal from District 2. All right. Well, I am here charged to set some framing for you all about how this will go and what we're trying to accomplish. As we all know, you've read the news, we are facing a historic budget gap. Expenses are growing faster than our revenues, our one-time funding is running out, but our community needs us to keep investing. We cannot afford to stop providing the critical services that our community needs, even when we have to make these tough budget decisions. But this is why you're here. We need your input. We want to know the real impact of budget decisions that we will have to make so that we can minimize the harm and increase services to deliver for Portlanders. We are always looking for opportunities to improve efficiency and cut costs. But the truth is that there is no way to balance our budget next year without affecting some kind of services and staff. But the good news is that we are positioned well to make these thoughtful decisions with your help, and that's why you're here today. As city councilors, it's our job to set the policies and to pass the city budget. And you already have seen some preliminary recommendations that we received from our city administrator, Michael Jordan. But let me be clear, the city council decides the budget. So anything you received ahead of time, I don't want that to deeply color what you think is possible. We are going to make decisions with the feedback that we are hearing in these budget sessions. So just know that everything is on the table and everything is open for discussion. So I want to make that absolutely clear. We want to welcome what your thinking is about what kinds of services we should cut, what kinds of trade-offs should we make as a city. And city staff are going to produce a report after this that will reflect all of the feedback that we received. And then we will be able to take that info and put it into action as we start the budget discussions in these coming weeks. And so with that, we are going to get started with a quick presentation from our budget director, Ruth Levine. And then from there, we're going to hear from all of you. So thank you for being here. Talk soon.
Okay, good evening. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ruth Levine, and I'm the director of the City Budget Office, and I'm very excited to be here with you tonight. I'm going to give a very brief overview. We're here to hear from you, so I'm going to keep it as short as possible, but we do have more information available on the city's website, portland.gov/budget. There's a budget intro page on there. There's also a link to a written budget testimony form that you can fill out at any time. So if you have other thoughts after tonight and you would like to submit them as written testimony, you can do that there. So thank you to Councilor Avalos for that great introduction. I'm just going to give you a quick starting point for, what we're looking at. So in February, the city administrator released the preliminary budget recommendations. And they provide an initial starting point. For those of you who might have been familiar with prior budget processes, this is sort of similar to the requested budget portion of the process in the past. And the goal is to be able to provide enough information for the public to really engage with some of the choices that are on the table, but they really are just a starting point. So the city has a legal requirement to balance its budget. All funds must have revenues and expenditures equal. The February documents are not fully balanced at this point. So there is still a lot of work to do. And as Councilor Avalos pointed out, they're just recommendations. The mayor will produce a balanced budget at the beginning of May, and then council will be considering that budget and making amendments and passing their own balanced budget, which will become the actual adopted budget. So the general fund is the most flexible pot of money. It's where our major revenues come from our property taxes, our business license taxes, and go to pay for things like parks, public safety, police and fire, housing and homelessness, and a whole host of other critical programs in the community. Next slide, thanks. So, the challenge that we have before us is that we do have a significant budget gap, and part of this is due to a reduction in revenues from what we previously expected, and much of that is linked to declining property values in the central city. And that you can see on this slide is the revenue shortfall portion of the bar there. We also had about $30 million of funding that was allocated in the current fiscal year that is set to expire. And that was a mix of federal funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, as well as local funds that were one-time in nature, meaning we only had them for 1 year. And then there's additional funds that are linked to newly identified priorities, including the mayor's sheltering plans, other expenses, and other sort of cost increases. Go to the next slide. And then the general fund is just, again, the most flexible pot of money. There are also many other funds that the city has, and some of them are represented on the slide here. There are significant shortfalls in other places too. Our transportation funding has not rebounded as quickly as we had hoped after the pandemic. The parks levy is set to expire in 2026. And the permitting revenues is another place where it's been impacted by some of the slowed building in the city. And so over the winter, the bureaus in these funds identified reductions that would help to balance their budgets, and those figures are represented here on this slide. Next slide. So as I said, the preliminary budget recommendations don't fully balance the budget. And there were some recommendations that were made, including about $17 million of reductions in the general fund, as well as a one-time transfer of funding from the Portland Clean Energy Fund that's based on interest that accrued last year in the fund and would move into the general fund. And this has been discussed by the PSEF committee. And then next slide. And there are also recommendations around additional ways to close this gap. So these would include further expenses, and there's more detail on this on our website. There were also cuts put forward to police, fire, and 911 that would result in $35.7 million of savings. That's at the 8% level for those budgets. And then an estimate of savings from the current fiscal year that could be applied to the budget next year, and additional external revenue sources. So there's ongoing conversations with the state and other jurisdictional partners around potential sources of revenue that could support some of the priorities in the city's budget. Okay. There is a budget process slide. So the next steps in the budget process this is the second of the 4 or 5 listening sessions that will happen. And so we're very excited to hear from you tonight. After this, as I said, the mayor will propose a balanced budget at the very beginning of May, based in part on the feedback that's heard tonight. And then we will have a number of council work sessions, and then there are additional opportunities for testimony before council. We have a full schedule of all of those hearings and work sessions on our website. And the approved budget will be heard on May 21st, and then council will adopt a budget in the middle of June. And I think I'm passing it to Amanda.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amanda Garcia Snell. I'm the city's new engagement officer. Thank you all for being here and taking the time to come and share your thoughts. I just want to make sure that everyone had an opportunity to complete the budget exercise. It's available in hard copy on clipboards over by the entrance. There are also some QR codes posted around. You can scan it and complete it that way if you'd like. And then the link for that will be available on the city's budget web pages for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to start our public testimony opportunity, and I'm going to go ahead and let you know how that is going to work. So tonight is about hearing from you all. It's not a back and forth conversation. We'll strike a balance between in-person and online testimony. We'll go in order of signups. So we'll do 9 in-person and then 3 online and continue on that cadence through the evening. We'll call 9 names at a time. When we call your names, if you could please come up, and there are some queued up chairs over here. The first 3 people to get up here of those 9 can go ahead and take a seat. And then you will each have 90 seconds to provide your testimony. We have about 2 hours time total. And so please do your best to stick to that time so that we can hear from as many folks as possible. The timer will be up on the screen and you'll see it in a minute. So it'll let you know when your 90 seconds is up. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Please declare if you're a lobbyist. If you are representing an organization, please identify it. Disruptive conduct, such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given. That further disruption may result in the person being muted if you're online, or asked to leave if you're in person. Please know that this meeting is recorded. Thank you for helping your fellow Portlanders feel welcome, comfortable, respected, and safe. If you have questions and prefer not to testify, and you are in person, there are 3x5 cards. You can write down your question. We'll collect those at the end. Those will be added to a frequently asked questions document on the city's budget page. We're collecting questions from all of these sessions, as well as the previous set of budget Q&A sessions. And so we'll just be continuing to add to that frequently asked questions document. Of course, you can always submit questions through the budget page's public comment form. And that's at portland.gov/budget. So please check back there. You'll see the updated frequently asked questions as well. We will not be answering any questions tonight. Tonight is an opportunity for community to share your feedback and for the city to listen. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with testimony. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sam Subedi, Frida Christopher, Eva Jeanette Rollins, Kevin Black, Kepper Petzing, Todd Littlefield, Jed Arkley, and Terrence Hayes. So those of you that I just called can sit right here. Okay, so now we'll take Todd Littlefield, Jed Arkley, and Terrence Hayes.
Todd Littlefield, Lents Neighborhood Livability Association. The government's core responsibility is public safety. Let me repeat, the government's core responsibility is public safety. Portland has been one of the safest cities for its history. Just 9 years ago, we had 16 murders. Since, we have surpassed 80, 90, and 100 per year, a 600% increase in 9 years. So far this month, 6 murders, 6, with a third of the month to go. Mayor Wilson was elected citywide by the highest percentage of votes of any elected office holder, with a clear mandate to eliminate unsheltered homelessness. Just 9 months from now, his mandate must succeed. At the same time, putting shelters in residential or business neighborhoods is dead wrong. The MUP, Springwater Corridor are sensitive environmental areas. Why is PSF money not being used to safeguard and eliminate the vast human catastrophe it's long been? The residents aren't rich enough. We must have individual city employees who care and are competent. PMO, the Public Environmental Management Office, those 3 ladies are city treasurers and heroes, problem solvers, not creators. They're exactly what the city needs. I hope PSF funds them. Thank you.
Got a feeling. Should I go next?
You can.
And myself? Got you. Oh, you're to pick me up. How y'all doing? My name is Terrence Hayes. I'll be really quick. I want to go. I'm sure you're not talking about what I'm talking about, so might be a good chance for me to go. I want to be really clear that regardless of any mandates that anybody have, we have community members dying from gun violence. Any notion that you can separate dealing with that and somehow diminish the value of police impacting that is nonsense and continues to double down on notions that's more about politics and less about the life of people. Yes, we need different answers when it comes to the way that police have historically interacted with community members. No one argues or disagrees with that. But the fact that the first conversation that we began to have when you guys took office was to look at the police budget as if it's the end-all answer. You all agreed that the police is not the end-all answer for criminality and reducing all types of crime. So, with that, it cannot be the answer, budgetly speaking, to fix everything. We need the police we have. I'm not advocating necessarily to increase or anything like that, but any conversation where we're reducing the number of officers out here goes against many of the things I heard many of you say when it comes to police and community interactions. We need police accountability. We need to make sure that they're showing up when folks call, and we need that more in District 1 than any other districts that most of you come from. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak tonight. Hello, my name is Jed Arkley. I've lived in Portland for 18 years, and my wife and I bought a house in District 1, shout out to Powell Hurst Gilbert, last year. I also worked for the city of Portland at the Summer Free for All program with Portland Parks and Recreation, and I'm a proud union member with the City of Portland Professional Workers, the CPPW. So I'd like to talk about parks programming. Any cuts to parks programming will disproportionately affect the residents of our district. Since I started with parks in 2017, I've witnessed intentional and concrete efforts on the part of the Bureau to invest more in East Portland. They have done some good work there. At the same time, the historical neglect of anything east of 82nd cannot be solved by just a few years of action. Now that East Portland finally has direct representation, we have a chance to supercharge this investment and continue to repair decades of disinvestment. Keep building parks, keep investing in the East Portland Community Center, the Montevilla Community Center, keep the Sun School programs open, and keep staff. Speaking of staff, Parks has over 80 members represented by the CPBW. The city continues to drag its feet on our first contract. Settle the contract. It has been more than a year since we started bargaining. We are the frontline workers who can provide park services to East Portland. Our contract fight is directly tied to the city's willingness to invest in East Portland. The district deserves dedicated staff who can deliver on your promises to your district. Thank you so much.
And now we'll take our two online commenters. Carolyn Myers, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Myers. I'm here to testify regarding Sun School as a parent of a student that accesses Sun School after, and as an advocate for students to have a safe spaces outside of school hours as a PPS educator, as well as at the request of my students' friends who asked me to show up for them, and they're devastated. What if the only people you have to advocate for you are your teachers or Sun School staff? My son has accessed Sun School since elementary school, which has enabled me to work full-time for PPS and access a safe space. As part of Lentz neighborhood, our part of Lentz neighborhood is not safe for children to be playing outside without supervision, despite many opportunities to make it more safe by tirelessly contacting appropriate City of Portland departments and Multnomah County departments by myself and countless community members. Some examples include physical assault of myself on my property in front of my child, frequent police on my neighborhood, people speeding down our one-lane road, almost hitting kids, a stolen truck crashing into my front yard, loose dogs chasing and charging at neighborhood residents, and animal control refusing to come. Sun School gives students a safe place to stay in our neighborhood that is not safe for students to be outside. My neighborhood experience with safety is not unique to many families that access Sun. I'm not sure whose idea it was to cut Sun out of Parks' budget and continue traumatizing families that need their students to access Sun. They are already being traumatized by federal government cuts of education, Medicare, SNAP benefits.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Ellen Damasceno.
Good evening, Mayor Wilson and city councilors. My name is Ellen Damasceno, and I'm the executive director of Stone Soup PDX. We all know budget challenges are ahead and tough choices need to be made, but some cuts will cost us more in the long run. Right now, Stone Soup provides funding to provide employment services through Multnomah County's Joint Office of Homeless Services. This support helps people facing barriers to employment gain the skills and experience they need for long-term stability. It's not just the right thing to do, it's smart fiscal policy. Our social return on investment calculator estimates that for every $1 invested in our program, local governments save about $8 by reducing the need for public assistance. That's an 8-to-1 return, something we should be expanding, not eliminating. And yet the proposed fiscal year 26 budget completely eliminates funding for employment services. That means no county support for job training programs like ours, no investments in participants like the ones we recently highlighted, someone who went from a dishwasher to kitchen manager now earning over $64,000 a year with benefits. These programs work. These outcomes strengthen our entire community. The budget isn't final yet, and yet you have the power to make a different choice. We urge you to prioritize workforce development and to continue to fund employment services. Portland's economic recovery depends on investing in people, because when our residents succeed, our city thrives. Thank you.
Okay, and now we'll take our next 9 in person. Scott Coolbaugh, Lorianne Keeleher, Kyle LeClaire, Jennifer Roundsville, Michael Luigi, Charles Morton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jana Tessman, and Etta Kirschner.
Hi, I'm Scott Coolball. I'm a District 3 resident. This is Sam. He came here to see some fire trucks, but maybe some other time. Yeah. Candace, you sat on the Charter Commission that recommended expanding the city council. The official estimate sent to voters in 2022 said it would cost between $900,000 and $8.7 million per year. We now know the actual cost will be much higher. In January, this city council voted to spend millions more to hire even more staff despite this massive budget deficit. We need to get back to basics and stop operating like a city that has an unlimited budget for pet projects. Tonight, I ask the city council to postpone hiring new staff members and to use the Portland Clean Energy Fund to save the jobs of first responders, to save the jobs of the maintenance workers who keep our city running, and to save our community center. Thank you.
Mayor, councilors, my name is Kyle. I'm here tonight as an individual. My thoughts and opinions are of my own and mine alone. I'm asking for continued funding for the chat team, a team that does what no other city resource does. You know who we are, but do you truly know what we do? I urge you to take the time to look into our work. We meet people where they are, attending PCP appointments, advocating for care, providing buprenorphine on the streets, and connecting people to doctors and the right resource for further care. We also divert 911 calls, saving the city money while ensuring people get the right care at the right time. CHAT is a multifaceted team of nurses, EMTs, paramedics, and community health workers. We operate on two fronts, low acuity 911 response and our follow-up team, which provides long-term support. We actively collaborate with city resources, building relationships and ensuring no one falls through the cracks. We connect the dots, making services more effective and efficient. What that looks like. A client discharged from rehab with no PCP, no medication, no follow-up care, forgotten. We connected them to a doctor, helped restart their medication, and got them into a better living situation. Person living in a tent, we helped them get an apartment, also connected them with medical care and other resources. Since 2021, we responded to over 12,000 calls, conducted 11,000 follow-ups, diverted 30% of emergency cases, and saved over $10 million in healthcare costs. We returned 670 hours of emergency services hours and helped countless people find shelter. We changed lives without proper funding. This work stops and people fall through the cracks again. I urge you to invest in a team that works. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lauren Kellier. I am from Lentz. I am here to talk about Sun School and Montavilla, how important they are. My kids are grown, but we needed Sun School when they were young. I was a single mom. We struggled for food, clothing, shelter. They helped us with all of that with Sun Schools. Schools are going to lose funding now, and we know that. Right now, we need to keep the investment in the Sun Schools and the parks. Montavilla was key to my children. Because it was before East Portland. I'm that old, before East Portland Community Center came. Montavilla did everything for my kids. I, as a senior citizen now, take classes at Montavilla. You guys are going to cut those? I lost my oldest son to the city of Portland. He was murdered. I don't have much left. I love taking my classes at Montavilla. I love the Portland parks. We need the Sun Schools and we need Montavilla Community Center, all the community centers. So please keep that in mind. We don't have a lot to be happy about out here. Don't take this away. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Roundsville, and I'm a coordinator for the sports office, and I'm also a parent that has had my kids participate in recreation sports, particularly on Golden Ball. In my 28 years with the sports office, I've worked with countless volunteer coaches, coordinators, parents, and players. Our citywide sports program not only fills the gaps in affordable sports opportunities, but we also provide an avenue for those kids needing positive youth development. By participating in these programs, they learn skills in team play, individual cooperation, fair play, success, failure, and building friendships. The additional programs that we offer, such as the youth volleyball, $5 fun Ks, cross-country, provide a low-cost activities for youth and families. I want to read a thank you that was given to us by a player from the Scott basketball team. Thank you for supporting Scott and other schools for girls basketball. My name is Tiffany and I'm in the 3rd grade at Scott Elementary. I've played softball for 4 years and will play again this spring. This is my first year playing basketball. I'm enjoying it. I really like my coach and my team. We have so much fun. My team is really helpful and supportive. They have helped me in shooting and dribbling. My coach has helped us get better and better. When I first started playing, I couldn't even make one basket. Now I can make 3 in a row. I really like basketball. This is one in over 2,000 kids that will be cut. These community activities are important for Portlanders. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charles Morton. I'm coming as a concerned citizen. I have refereed basketball for the city of Portland for the past 34 years. I've had children and grandchildren participate in recreational sports throughout the years. Team sports teaches several life skills that are needed as we continue to face our challenge in the future. It teaches us to work with others as a team to accomplish a common goal. It teaches us how to deal with conflict. It teaches you how to work within the guidelines of established rules. And it also teaches you that there are consequences to one's action. My ask is that you do not cut the recreational citywide sports. In Golden Ball alone, we had over 2,000 kids involved between the 3rd and 6th grade. Frankly, if they wasn't involved in Golden Ball, it is scary what they could be doing with unstructured time. I understand that there's a budget shortfall. I would propose that you create a sports tax, something combined with the art tax, so that we can have a revenue stream that would not run dry. My ask of you, Mayor, as well as the rest of the city council, please do not let this cut occur on your watch. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Etta. I go to Centennial Middle School as a 6th grader. I've been doing Sun since I was 5, and it's always been like a really giant part of my life. Me and a few of my friends are here today, and all of us really believe that Sun should stay. I'm in a few Sun classes, and each of them have given me a lot of friends, so many new opportunities to just be myself. But Sun doesn't only do after school. It also controls things like summer camps, free lunches during the summer, and tons of job opportunities for people who wouldn't have jobs otherwise. My older sibling and my older brother were both in Sun for most of their lives, and one of my siblings even worked in Parks and Rec. But I'm gonna pause for a second and be completely honest. I think the majority of people sitting or standing around this room have been in middle school. And if so, you know that having an actual real community that you can be yourself with is insanely uncommon. And oftentimes they're just cliques between peers, and even those could be faulty. But I've witnessed such a beautiful thing happening in Sun where it literally unites students, which is really rare. Between hormones, newfound drama, and everything just feeling like it's magnified by 10 times at this age, something like this is close to like finding a diamond in your front lawn. And as a middle schooler myself, I know that so many students truly love and rely on these communities and see them as their homes and would be so crushed if Sun was cut. Thank you so much for letting me speak, and I sincerely hope that Sun will stick around.
I'm Jana Tessman. Thanks for having me, City Council. That budget exercise was really hard. I said no to nearly every cut. You get a program, you get a program, you get a program. I understand that you all don't get to do that. My heart goes out to all of the city employees who will lose their jobs and all of those people whose lives will be worse off because of the loss of services. But the thing is, we can have nice things. We can have housing and parks and clean roads free from potholes. We get these things not by leaving it up to a profit-seeking market. We get these things by taxing the rich. Now I gotta go faster, everybody. Okay, you might have heard that we have had too many taxes on the rich. I want everyone to ask themselves, who's saying that? Because what I'm saying is that if you have a six-figure income and you're having a hard time, you have bigger issues than a tax for preschool and a tax for homeless services. The number of high-income households nearly doubled in just 4 years, according to last year's budgets. Are these taxes overperforming? No, the rich are overperforming. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Harper. I attend Centennial Middle School also. I agree we shouldn't shut down Sun for all it does for our community. Sun helps parents, adults, kids, and students. Shutting down Sun will have a huge effect on Portland. Like all after-school classes at CMS and other schools with after-school classes will also be shut down. And those classes could be really helpful to some students. Like I have a friend who learned how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, and that's a core life skill. You can't go your whole life not knowing how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Sun also helps by hosting summer camps, like Etta has said. Summer camps also help you make new friends and have fun. Summer camp also helps take care of kids like babysitting kids, but they have all kinds of fun most people wouldn't have with a regular babysitter. Sun also helps adults, they help parents specifically like handing out free lunches in the summer and take care of kids after school if they sign up for after school clubs or summer school. Sun also helps adults in general, English classes and Zumba classes. Sun also has a number of events for non-English speakers to help them learn about their culture or just feel included in general. Sun helps a lot of people and family, so if you shut down Sun, you shut down lots of support. That's why I say keep Portland sunny.
And now we'll take one online comment. Marnasha, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marnasha Katz, and I am of the small percentage of Native Black Portlanders and even smaller group of Black nurses in Oregon. I'm a young mom, and I've lived in East Portland all of my adolescence and young adulthood as we were gentrified from North Portland. I've seen the changes in our community and believe that we deserve so much better, so much more and better from our elected officials. I'm a direct beneficiary of the SUN programs and the ability for my single mother to know that her children had no cost meal and transportation in the increasingly tumultuous neighborhoods of East Portland. I implore you, our officials, to invest in our children, unlike our federal administration, and invest in the safety through first responders, fire, police, and street response. Thank you.
Michael Livingston. Deacon English. Oh, you okay?
Hello, everybody.
Isaac McLennan, Emmanuel Segay, Marianne Tybalt, Soko Eth, Sean Lindsay, Stefan Saney, and Michael Lopes-Serro.
Good evening. I work for Golden Ball program. I'm one of the lead referees that help train the referees for our Golden Ball program. And that job for these young kids is a good paying job. And I don't want those jobs to be lost for those young people. I don't want the games being taken away from the young kids that play in our program. I just ask you guys, please do not take away the Golden Ball program because it helps out the whole community. That's all I have. Thank you.
Good evening, Isaac McLennan, and I'm here to talk about the community health assess and treat teams. I'm not going to repeat what the person several did ago because he very articulately said what the program does. But what I will add is that these dedicated individuals are in-house programs, and it's a fiscally responsible program. Nurses, EMTs, and paramedics on the front line dealing with the crisis today. Hundreds of years ago, the crisis was cities were on fires. What do? We built fire stations in response. Today's fires, while actual ones keep burning, the new response we need is community medicine. And I'm telling you right now, in my experience, this program works. Please fund it.
Hello, my name is Marianne Thibault, and I'm the Sports Management Supervisor for Portland Parks and Recreation. I had the privilege of speaking to you all on Tuesday about Team Wildcat with our Golden Ball Youth Basketball Program, and I'd like to introduce you to another poster, participants from our 5K $5 races. But tonight I'd like to talk about women in sports. So 45% of girls stop playing sports by age 14 for the most common reason of feeling body dissatisfaction. So why are sports so important for girls? Girls have higher level of confidence and self-esteem. They have higher overall psychological states and lower levels of depression. They have better academic performance, and sports teaches teamwork, and we contribute to a healthy lifestyle for life. 80% of female CEOs played sports. 7 out of 10 sports fans now watch women's sports. Only 3 years ago, that jumped. 54% of fans only began watching women's sports 3 years ago. Of the 74 NBA officials, 8 are female. Of the 125 Golden Ball referees, 15 are female. So we're doing our part, and I'm asking that you do yours and fund citywide sports, Golden Ball Youth Basketball, 2,400 kids, $5 5K fun runs, cross country, all the things that we do. Please don't tell these children.
And I just wanted to remind folks that disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given that further disruption may result in the person being muted or asked to leave. And with that, we'll have the next 3.
All right, counselors, Mayor Wilson, if you were here last Tuesday, then I believe you remember Team Wildcat. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm here on behalf of the Golden Ball Youth Basketball Program. I've been an official for 2 years, and I'm extremely concerned that the city is considering to terminate the program. In case you aren't familiar, Golden Ball is historic. It's run in our city for 87 years. There are athletes whose parents and even grandparents participated in the program as children. It serves more than 2,400 young athletes in 3rd through 6th grade who likely wouldn't otherwise have access to sports because club sports are way too expensive for many families, especially in North Portland and East Portland and this district. It represents Portland's longstanding commitment to equity and inclusivity, but it does more than that. It teaches the value of inclusivity to our youth. In our league, there are short players, overweight players, and even a player with only one arm. But our league's ethos is to let every player play regardless of skill or physical limitations, and the results are incredible. Some of the best players in our league are players who wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to participate in a more competitive sports league because of their athletic impediments. For example, the athlete I mentioned earlier with only one arm, I've officiated many of her games, and I've seen her put up blocks, steals, and even become one of the best ball handlers on her team. Golden Ball teaches kids what's possible when you give everybody a chance, when you give everybody an equal opportunity to succeed. It's programs that Golden Ball that teach kids why inclusivity matters. Portland prides itself on inclusivity, but it's not something that Portlanders are born to value. You're not just considering cutting a program, you're about to cut something that represents and instills one of Portland's core values in our youth, and that's not okay. So save youth sports, and also save the Sun program.
Good evening. My name is Soko Iat. I work and serve our community at the Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization, IRCO. First, I'm thankful for the opportunity to testify in District 1. What a historic moment. In balancing the budget, the council should take care to keep parks programming tied to after school, sun, recreation, and community engagement to encourage participation with our community in this new government. With the new council, let's keep working for all of Portland and maintain these critical services by keeping our community engaged, participating, and working together. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Council. Mayor Wilson, thank you for being here in Park Rose. I'm honored to be here representing the Park Rose School District as their superintendent, and I'm here to advocate for maintaining our Sun program here at Park Rose High School, the Golden Ball recreational opportunities for our youth, and the Sun programs in our neighboring school districts. The nearly $3 million cut will close 11 Sun sites across 4 school districts and create a void of safe spaces for young people to gather and be cared for by trusting adults. This includes our own Park Rose High School. Keep in mind, our kids face cuts to funding at school, city, county, and federal levels this year. Our deficit should not be on the back of our most underserved, the youth of East Portland. Sun is an upstream investment so you don't have downstream consequences of having a lack of safe spaces for our young people. Since the county is the lead agency that funds Sun, I can understand you might think it's duplicative, but it's not. Think about the city's role as provider of built infrastructure, safe, livable communities, and the city's needs to invest in that. Sun is your portion of that investment. Additionally, Sun offers additional benefits, like you're here tonight. We rent facilities for free. We give that to Portland Parks and Recreation, who's been a great partner of ours for more than 20 years. You are challenged, just like me as a superintendent, to balance a very difficult budget. Please do not do it on the backs of our kids. Thank you.
Oh, good afternoon, evening. My name is Sean Lindsay. I'm here to advocate for Golden Ball. I'm going to speak from the heart here. I'm a product of parks. I'm exactly what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I grew up in parks. I grew up playing Golden Ball. I came from a single family mother that raised me, didn't have much, but put me through every single program possible to keep a hyperactive kid busy. Now, without these programs, I could have gone either way. But with these programs, these sports programs, I became a great mentor to a lot of young kids that I coach today. One sitting in this room that went on to have a great college career. Now, all those things that Golden Ball has done for me can do for thousands of kids out there. Taking away sports for kids is what we're trying to fight against with homeless problems. All those things, the cracks, the drugs, the crime that happens, that's what leads to when you take these programs away from kids. This is the thing that I could have been if I didn't have these programs. But my mom, she fought hard, she worked hard, she gave me everything in life so that way I can live a better day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deacon English. I'm a student here at Park Rose High School. And frankly, our district is suffering. Chronic absenteeism is plaguing our state, and kids need reasons to go to school. The SUN program may be one of the few reasons why kids go to school. If chronic absenteeism is such a hot button issue for this state, we should not be cutting the reason why people go to school. For example, my good friend has a 0.8 GPA. He's struggling. He's struggling in every means possible, and I'm concerned for him. However, he can have a brighter future. SUN programs offer that to people. SUN programs care for kids. And also, must we look at the childcare aspect of it too? We are the most underrepresented school possibly in the state, and people need money. Working mothers, single mothers, work tirelessly to pay for their child's needs. And this SUN program might exactly be what they need for aftercare. But instead, we are hurting them. And I cannot stand to see our people hurt. Park Rose just suffered a huge budget cut, and I cannot stand to see another one. I'm doing this for my siblings, for my friends, and for the people that are not up here to speak for themselves.
Good evening, counselors. Mayor Wilson, my name is Stefan Sang, and I work at the Immigrant Refugee Community Organization, IRCO. I live in District 2, work in Districts 1 and 3, and frequent the movies in District 4. I'm here tonight on behalf of the immigrant and refugee communities of which I am part. I urge you to continue the current funding levels of parks, after-school programs like SUN, and civic engagement programs that benefit immigrant and refugee communities tremendously. Last night and throughout, the GTAC has always urged the council to continue investing in civic engagement for hard-to-reach and / historically marginalized communities. Supporting these programs is a direct investment in that recommendation, in my opinion. So parks, SUN schools, after-school programming, civic engagement programs, keep them all. Thank you.
Okay, and our next 9 in-person comments, Sean Ferguson, Elizabeth Linder, John Miller, Justin Cohen, maybe, Tori Maurer, Dane Salazar, Jillian Francis, Lynn Felton, and Joash Bullock.
My name is Sean Ferguson, and I'm a student at Centennial Middle School. I participate in Golden Basketball in the SUN program through Portland Parks and Recreation for 2 years. By cutting funding for Portland Parks and Recreation, the SUN program will be cut and I will lose access to after-school activities. This is my only opportunity to hang out with many of my friends outside of school and have fun doing my hobby. Please don't take that away from me. Please keep investing in kids of Portland. We are going to be the future leaders of Portland, and this is time to set us up for success. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the Secretary of Woodland Park Neighborhood Association and Vice Chair of District 1 East Portland Coalition. I'm here to speak up for the neighborhood response teams through the Portland Police Bureau. Our historic and tiny neighborhood of 98 homes have green spaces which attract houseless folks and camps. These camps have a large impact on our small neighborhood, increasing drug paraphernalia, garbage, crime, and fear. The NRT has been so helpful to our small neighborhood in the last 2 years, helping us clean up camps and keeping our green spaces clear. But they don't just help our neighborhood, they also help those houseless people. The neighborhood response team has a close relationship with our small neighborhood and follows up with us after our calls. And they've informed us that they have not only gotten those people services, but they've connected them to family members in other states and bought them plane tickets to get home where they can find support in their own communities. The neighborhood response team is small but mighty, and they have a large and direct impact on the livability of our neighborhood. I ask that you fund those police officers and help people directly. Thank you for your consideration.
Hello, hello. My name is Jillian Francis, and I'm a mom. I do have 3 jobs, and my 2 kids have been participating in SUN program, after-school programs, sports programs. It's great. You know, one of the biggest things talking with other parents and teachers is the impact of COVID in terms of when COVID started, they were preschool and first grade. They missed great opportunities for socializing, engaging, and coming back to school was really hard for them, and it still is. SUN program has really brought together, you know, for my children, an opportunity to find others who are interested in what they enjoy. And it makes it easier for them away from the school setting, because school, when they're in school, they have to be quiet, they have to listen, they have to do their work. But in SUN program, they find others like them, they communicate, they talk, they get involved. And that's a lot of something they missed out on. And the opportunity to have that and to becoming individuals who participate in community, I think is well worth the money for the budget. So please, in your consideration, SUN program is a community, you know, program that brings children together so they can form their own community with like-mindedness, things that they enjoy, and gets them to open up. So please, I appreciate your time. Thank you so very much for caring and being here.
John Miller, Justin Cohen, Tori Mauer.
Thank you, City Councilors and Mayor Wilson. It is a pleasure to be here today. I am Dean Salazar, and I am here today to testify regarding the potential SUN program cuts. It is a dark irony that we have to discuss this on the day where President Trump is intending to dismantle the Department of Education. I understand you guys are facing a budget deficit at this current moment. At the same time, the SUN provides a real investment in our future, and cutting it would result in an investment deficit and future budget deficits down the line. It is one of the most critical programs that Portland Parks and Recreation provides. So we need to ensure that we are not causing brain drain and that we are not really abandoning our most vulnerable communities, especially because here in District 1, this is the most diverse district, and thus cutting it would have an adverse impact. In particular, it would potentially harm Alice Ott, which has a lot of SUN programs as well. So do not let this be do not let this crisis create a future crisis for our youth. That is all. Thank you.
Good evening. Stating that your goal is to create a thriving and equitable Portland feels a little disingenuous after looking at the budget. Our tax structure is broken, it's outdated, and I think that needs to be acknowledged. We pay some of the highest tax rates in the country, and yet we find ourselves being told that the services our taxes are supposed to pay are at risk. Meanwhile, developers continue to pay lower tax rates and get to walk away from the problems they create for the rest of us, like Block 216. Gutting or outright eliminating programs for our children and marginalized communities cannot stand. My main point tonight is this, though. Our kids, to include those in East County, depend on the SUN program. I think everyone here that has spoken on it has made excellent points. I don't need to add to it. It is vital to them, to their families, for so many reasons, and that doesn't even begin to include the employees that are going to be affected. Please reconsider those cuts. Give our kids that opportunity to thrive.
Hi, my name is Tori Mauer, and I'm here to speak about the cuts in Portland Parks and Rec specifically. My perception is that city administration and PPNR upper management are trying to protect their large salaries by threatening service cuts to community centers and park cleanliness in an effort to get the public to improve a park an increased levy. Voters should not be forced into a crossroad like this, having to choose between essential community programs or a tax increase. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look up the Willamette Weekly article titled "Portland Parks Are on This Year's Chopping Block." I think it's extremely inappropriate for the first budget cuts to be aimed at essential employees, working families, and some of our most vulnerable community members, all while PP&R upper management and administration has factored in more merit raises for themselves despite aiming to lay off 270 working class laborers, including myself. Please let me keep my job. Please let me keep cleaning the bathrooms at Lentz Park. Please let me keep arriving at the playground before the kids do to clean up a drug run that was created the night before. Please consider cutting from administration and management as opposed to closing community centers, laying off essential workers, and reducing basic services in our parks. Please do the right thing for our community. Thank you.
And John Miller?
Hello, councilors and mayor, and welcome to District 1 for those who are not from District 1. My name's Lynn Felton, resident of District 1. I would like to say tonight, I would really appreciate this listening session to be taking place after the mayor's budget is issued. That way we're talking about real numbers and not narratives. And just to give an example of that tonight, I've heard a lot about SUN programs, and I heard it's 3 million. Well, from a District 1 perspective, 4 million towards the James Beard Marketplace downtown versus 3 million for the SUN program. From a District 1 perspective, that's pretty easy, but that's dealing with numbers, not narratives. So since we deal with narratives here, some things that have worked for our district. Pima works. Please keep Sunderland open. What else works? Code compliance. Drive anywhere, 122nd, Sandy Boulevard, you can see empty zombie buildings. Civic life, small community grants, small money, big returns. You have people working for nothing. When a city can get people to work for nothing, take advantage of it, please. I know I'm forgetting something, but there's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Good evening, council members and Mayor Wilson. My name is Joash Bullock, and while I am a sitting member on the Park Rose School Board, I'm here tonight as a concerned citizen of District 1 and a parent of 2 current school members. Forgive me if I read pre-written comments. I'm on the autistic spectrum, so this helps me focus. Cutting after-school programs in Portland, Oregon has a significant impact on the local community, particularly on undeserved populations. These programs provide a safe space for children after school, reducing the likelihood of engaging in risky behaviors and improving academic success. Without these programs, many students, especially those from low-income families, are left without structured, positive environments in the critical hours between school and home. This increases the risk of juvenile delinquency and decreases overall community safety. For underserved communities, after-school programs are more than just curricular activities. They offer academic support, mentorship, and meals that some children may not receive at home. Many families rely on these programs due to work schedules and financial constraints, and their removal disproportionately affects those who cannot afford alternative childcare or enrichment opportunities. As a result, educational gaps may widen and students from disadvantaged backgrounds may struggle to keep up with their peers academically and socially. Investing in after-school programs is an investment in the future of Portland. Thank you very much.
Aaliyah Paloma, Nancy Champlin, Marianne Schwab, Annette Stanhope, Leonella Slaughter, Carly Barnes, Trevor Irish, Rita Elvestone, and Tippy Hartford.
Thank you, City Council. My name is Aaliyah Paloma, and I'm a parent in District 1. Our neighborhood where Al Asad is located has the highest crime rate in all of Portland, with 228% more crime than the entire nation average. Our neighborhood is also the 10th poorest neighborhood in Portland out of all 94 neighborhoods, with most families having 2 working parents and no parents home after school. Canceling Sun and leaving poor kids home alone because their parents can't pay for other after-school programs in the most unsafe neighborhood in all of Portland is not a very safe plan, nor is it a very equitable plan to balance the budget. The facts are very clear. Our students at Al Asad Middle School need a safe place to go after school. So please continue to fund the SUN program at Al Asad. Invest in our kids today so they don't become the homeless of tomorrow and a bigger problem. And as one of the other speakers said, keep Portland sunny.
Good evening, Mayor Wilson and City Council. I'm Nancy Champlin, the Executive Director of the nonprofit, nonpartisan Southeast Uplift District 3 Coalition. I come to you tonight on behalf of the city's 4 District Coalition offices, or DCOs for short, funded through the Office of Community and Civic Life. Collectively, we support the city's 94 neighborhood associations and a broad network of community-based organizations throughout Portland. I want to echo something that you heard at last night's City Council meeting from the Government Transition Advisory Committee, which was that the DCOs and the neighborhoods stand ready and eager to work with you to seize this historic opportunity to rebuild the public's trust in government and to uplift the communities that too often get pushed to the margins in the city's decision-making processes. But the proposed cuts to the Civic Life's budget would eliminate funds for insurance that the DCOs must have, and these are not one-time needs. This is necessary for all that we do, like supporting public gatherings and the hundreds of free events and activities organized by Portlanders that volunteer tens of thousands of hours annually to making our neighborhoods a better place for all. This $80,000 expense is an extremely cost-effective investment in our civic engagement infrastructure. Please prevent this cut so that together we may meet this moment and promote the public good. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Trevor Irish. I'm a Portland homeowner in District 3. I'm here to testify in support of fully funding Portland Street Response 24/7 citywide. And for reducing the policing and criminalization of our unhoused neighbors. We cannot ethically continue to live in a society where we criminalize and sweep people just for the crime of living outside. We must judge ourselves and our morals, not by what we say, but by how we treat the least fortunate in our community. Tonight, I have continually heard the phrase, we must cut programs in order to balance the budget. Overwhelmingly, the programs on your budget activity assist low-income families and families with children, and I find this to be insulting, and it comes off as an attempt to pit us as citizens against each other, each advocating for our own programs that we care about most. But why are you not increasing taxes on largest corporations and the wealthiest Portlanders? We are tired of being told that there is no money to help the children and the unhoused. I just cannot believe we are being asked to choose between caring for parks, providing after-school programs, and caring for the most vulnerable in our community. All of these programs disproportionately benefit low-income families and neighborhoods. Why are these the programs on your budget activity chopping block? Why is your answer to hold these meetings threatening to cut programs instead of putting forth measures to increase your revenue shortfalls? Furthermore, why is there so much resistance to reducing the burden on our police and instead funding unarmed response in the form of Portland Street Response?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Mary Ann Schwab. I'm a resident of the Sunnyside Neighborhood, District 3. I'm here tonight to ask you to restore the proposed cuts to the neighborhood program in the Office of Community and Civic Life. The neighborhood program provides resources that allow volunteers in all 94 neighborhoods throughout the city to come together to improve their community. That's why I was fussing about insurance, cleaning chandeliers and changing light bulbs yesterday. The program is studied by other countries. I've met people from Japan, which they send their delegation to our city each summer to learn about our neighborhood program engagement with community. Through this program it's small, it impacts are big when the community neighbors come together with other neighbors to do such things as host community cleanups, neighborhood emergency teams, advocate for safer streets, organize tree planting, do a clothing drive for unsheltered neighbors, collect people to each other and their local government, and a whole lot more. We finally have a representative democracy in Portland, and I cheer for it. How I'm going to communicate with 12 city people to get anything done is going to be a challenge for everyone in this program. Anyway, so if you're serious about improving civic engagement in our city, please do not cut neighborhood programs that has been vital part of our fabric of civic life in Portland over 50 years, including me. I'm not giving up until I jump in that swimming pool. And you know where it is, because I'll be the last one to jump in it at, you know where it is. And we're going to have a meeting there, so I'll be back. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Annette Stanhope. I'm a 20-year resident of Park Rose, and I have a sophomore at Park Rose High School. I also work for Historic Park Rose, which is a neighborhood prosperity initiative. There are several things I could drill into, but mostly I want to remind everyone that District 1 East Portland is already struggling. Any cuts should look at East Portland through the lens of equity. Our median income is almost $20,000 behind the city average. And if you're looking just comparing us directly to the west side, it's probably closer to $40,000. This means that cutting services like parks programs that fund our son's school and summer schools and the summer free-for-all program and free lunches have a bigger impact here than elsewhere in Portland. Many families here rely on them, as you've heard in the testimony earlier. And our business and neighborhood organizations are under-resourced. In some areas of East Portland, they don't even exist. And so continuing to fund District 1 Neighborhood Office and neighborhood prosperity initiatives supports people who care deeply about their communities and connect residents and small business owners to important resources like grants and PMO. And those are just two examples, but across the board, there must be no cuts to programs in East Portland until we catch up to the rest of the city in prosperity and livability. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lena Ala-Slaughter. I am a field representative for LIUNA 43, representing recreation employees. I'm here today to tell you that I am a result of SUN. I am 56 years old. I've lived in Portland my whole life. It started at SUN. It wasn't even called SUN then. It was the satellite school. And Rufus, if you know Rufus, you know he worked for Parks. He was an important part in my life. I have a disfluency. I was a very shy kid, and my mom, who was working, my dad, who was working, they put my sister, brother, and I in SUN at Irvington School back then. And I was in TAP. It inspired me for dance, which led to me always loving dance and becoming a fitness instructor for Portland Public Schools, which led me to a full-time job. In 2019, I was laid off from the budget cuts. I am a result of that budget cut. I came back to parks, and I love not just about programming, it's about social services. It's about that adult who supports you and inspires you. If it wasn't for Sun, I don't know what I would be doing. But I can tell you, we want to continue inspiring these kids. We want to continue supporting these communities. Please do not cut Sun. Please do not cut any community centers. Please do not cut any frontline staff. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rita Elvis Stone. I didn't exactly prepare a speech tonight, but I came in here and felt like I couldn't come in here and not say anything. I work for Portland Parks, Southeast Maintenance Zone. My position and the position of one of my coworkers who already spoke here today are on the chopping block. I just feel like you all need to understand that if you cut parks maintenance, you are going to see what happens. Like, people don't understand how much we do before the sun rises in the morning. They don't understand that we're actually going out there and checking every garbage can, cleaning every restroom first thing in the morning before you get to the park. You know, you get there at noon and you see that everything's trashed and you might think, well, nobody's checked this in a week. No, actually, we checked it in the morning. So don't cut parks maintenance.
Hey, my name is Carly. I am a parks carpenter. I joined the trades 12 years ago as a bricklayer, journeyed out in Local 1, Oregon. I love working hard, and having the value of my work show up in our parks is a dream come true. I like a lot of people, visit our parks to connect with nature and community and for a brief escape of the tragedies and hardships of everyday life. It is a fact that if we defer the already deferred maintenance at our parks or cut positions like park techs or close community centers, then our parks too will become a tragedy. At work, I see that community centers are constantly full of people, and in my opinion, are the most diverse spaces in the city. In the parks, I see all kinds, people on breaks from work, dog walkers, pickleballers, and more importantly, children and teens. Children often approach me while I'm working. They ask me what I'm doing, what happened, and if they can help. I see these conversations as a foundation of community involvement in our city, and it all starts at parks. In the Bricklayers Union and others, when our brothers and sisters are going to lose their jobs and livelihoods, we take a vote. That vote is to furlough or to cut everyone's pay in order to save people's jobs. Everyone votes yes. No one wants their peers to lose their jobs because we all know what that would mean for ourselves. The city is not one union, but perhaps its leaders can heed that spirit.
Hi, my name is Tippy Hartford. I'm a mom. I walked here from my house in Argay. I love our school district and our community. It's really important to me. Tragically, we did not pass our Park Rose school levy, so our schools are already going to be hit incredibly hard. So I think any further cuts to them just compounds that injury, is unnecessary. I think whenever we think of funding, our top priority should be our vulnerable populations. That means our children, that includes after-school programs, parks, summer programs. That also includes our unhoused. That's the street team. All of those things are incredibly impactful and important investments that we make in our community, because that's what really makes a difference. Also, I believe in emergency preparedness, because the people hit hardest during emergencies and tragic events are those folks who are the most vulnerable. So please, when you're considering your budget, keep them at the forefront of your mind. Thank you very much for your time.
Jack MacArthur, Holly Shower, Danielle Marcial, Gressley Nicholas, Ellie Woods, Saul Marquez, Zach Melzer, Ann McMullen, and Jamie Dusher.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Wilson and city councilors. My name is Jack MacArthur, and I'm 23 years old. I'm a Golden Ball Youth basketball official, and I'm here today to represent citywide sports and Golden Ball Youth basketball through Portland Parks and Rec. I had a phenomenal time reffing youth basketball this season for the first time. As a basketball ref, us officials have a fun job and unique experience because we are viewed and looked up to as role models for these 3rd through 6th grade boys and girls that we officiate. Not only is Golden Ball an exceptional learning opportunity for many people, but it's also a great way to build community and to keep kids active and healthy. I used to be a part of Golden Ball when I was younger. I remember playing Golden Ball with my friends. My dad did it too, and my mom used to be my coach for one of my teams. Youth sports helped me learn life lessons, and they gave me a sense of belonging as a kid growing up. Golden Ball is a generational cornerstone that has helped thousands of kids stay active and adopt life lessons through the competitiveness, sportsmanship, winning, losing, respect, teamwork, and discipline that are learned within sports and community building in citywide sports like Golden Ball. Youth sports are a developmental program that I believe are essential to the success of young people in Oregon and statewide across America. Golden Ball is a historic program that has been around for 87 years, making it a near century-old tradition that has united countless diverse communities. Additionally, Golden Ball is extremely integral to the development of our youth because it inspires kids to stay active and to play sports all the time. Citywide sports programs such as Golden Ball also keep the youth away from violence, drugs, and away from technology in a generation that's marred and overshadowed by the overusage of phones and social media. Please keep Golden Ball and citywide sports alive to help the continual development and unity of youth and the surrounding communities. And please help keep officials like myself employed in these essential jobs so that we can continue to help people within our communities live better and healthier lives. Thank you for your time and for your consideration.
Good evening. I want to thank you all for your time tonight, for being here and for your work during this hard time. My name is Holly Schauer. I am principal at Alisat Middle School in the David Douglas District, just right down the road. And as you've heard tonight, our SUN program is funded by Portland Parks. The SUN program at Alisat Middle School is a community hub that offers our students critical academic support, assistance, and engagement. Last year, 230 Alisat students participated in SUN activities, 68 of whom identified as students of color. Cutting the program would deprive 566 Alisat middle schoolers access to after-school support and would disproportionately impact the most vulnerable members of our community, students already grappling with poverty, trauma, and systemic challenges. To claim support for equity while defunding the very programs that create opportunities for these students and their families would be a grave mistake. Investing in our students is investing in our future and building safer, stronger communities for all of us. Alex Rivera, our SUN site manager, who's here tonight, amazing. He devotes so much time to our families. They often go to him for support before they come to me. Cutting him would be cutting a valuable trusted family support for our community. I understand and empathize with the tough decisions that have to be made. I'm a public educator. I'm no stranger to lack of funding. Knowing that, I can still say with confidence that the decision to cut this funding would be a mistake and will negatively affect thousands of vulnerable students in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, councilors and Mayor Wilson, for being here. My name is Zachary Melzer. I am a teacher here at Parkrose High School. I am a resident here in Parkrose Heights, and I have a daughter here in the district as well. Let me tell you a little story about this, Mayor. I know you came, and when you were campaigning, you shook my hand. You came to my house across the unfinished street where the sidewalk was instead gravel in an area with not a lot of infrastructural support out here in East County. And let me tell you a little story about our students here. Our students have faced the budget cuts of a district that is oddly funded and underfunded by the state. We deal with one of the most diverse populations. with a very large SPED contingent that requires extra care and support, while we are now going to be faced with the smog from a distribution center that was put in here on a geographical technicality. And now we're talking about literally cutting mental health services from the county level and after-school programs and support for our students here in the district. I don't know what we are doing. I don't know what we're doing as a society. And this is on top of feeling the threat of literally gutting the Federal Department of Education and targeting LGBTQ youth and our undocumented youth. The social contract dying in front of us. And I think you as a city council can do a job of trying to bring a little bit back at the local level.
I convinced him to testify. I thought he did a great job. My name is Ann, and I am not here to talk about Golden Ball or Sun. I think they've had a lot of really good advocacy tonight. So I'm here. I have a lot of thoughts, but I won't put most of it into a written testimony so everybody has time to speak today. Thank you so much for coming and sitting here. I know it's going to be a long night. I'm here to talk about Hazelwood and the interventions and the organizations that we've worked with. As you may be aware, it's #1 in gun violence, #1 in traffic violence, #2 in drug-related calls. And so I'm here to advocate on behalf of the organizations that have been tremendously helpful, the #1 being Portland Solutions. I want to add, I know sheltering is not in the city purview. That is the purview of the county. But the reality is the county didn't help us. They were not there for us. When we called, the city stepped up with their sheltering programs, their sheltering outreach. They were the ones that answered the call. And so I can't say enough about that, helping us with our unsheltered population. PIMO is another one with these place-based interventions and creative problem solving. When it seems like there's no answer, they've done a tremendous job connecting us with other city resources. I mean, they're not just solving problems, they're helping us learn how to solve our own problems so we don't have to ask them all the time for help. So that's why I'm here, and I hope you guys keep that in mind also. The East Precinct Neighborhood Response Team is doing a tremendous job in Hazelwood as well.
Thank you, councilors and Mayor Wilson. My name is Danielle Marcial. I'm an employee of the Portland Water Bureau, where I've humbly served the community for 9 years. And also I'm a member of the City of Portland Professional Workers Union. I'm here tonight, though, proudly representing the Hazelwood neighborhood. Most of us here in the room are from East Portland, and we know better than anyone that the story of East Portland is one of unkept promises and unrealized potential. Prosper Portland's Gateway Action Plan of 2024 highlights that from Gateway through Hazelwood, this is one of the most ethnically diverse neighborhoods in the state of Oregon, and also one of the most economically challenged. Councilor Smith, I'd like to thank you in particular for your candor when expressing that you are not interested in cuts to public safety. How can we build a robust job market with a cultural hub that supports economic stability for our residents right here in East Portland when threats to public safety are left unattended, when safety and livability are not prioritized and underfunded? Some residents that live west of 82nd will snicker when you suggest that we meet east of 82nd for lunch. Councilors, you agreed that one of the keys to reducing gun violence is building community. Councilor Smith, you remarked that we have no sidewalks in East Portland. Our neighborhood infrastructure is underfunded. I want to highlight that the work that Parks and PBOT and Water do contributes more to public safety than what meets the eye, and it's integral to building community. How do we build sidewalks if we're cutting utility workers? We need our analysts and our coordinators, service workers to do this job. And we even need our middle managers and groups like engineering and maintenance and construction that come with institutional knowledge and years of experience. Councilor Avalos, I appreciate and share in your enthusiasm to close the heat dome in East Portland with tree canopy. Shout out to urban forestry, but respectfully, I echo the sentiments of numerous constituents when I ask, why are we hoarding money in PSEF? Thank you.
Dear Mayor Wilson and City Councilors, my name is Saul Marquez.
I am a correctional officer for Donald E. Long Detention Center. I have lived and grown here in Portland for most of my life. I attended Lane Middle School and Marshall High School. During my time of middle school and high school years, I was presented with opportunities to join local gangs and try drugs for the first time. Fast forward 15 years later, our teens today are not facing this same issue. As we have witnessed either as victims or in our daily lives in our neighborhoods on our way to work, there has been an increase in crime in recent years. The gangs of today have become more violent and more aggressive in recruiting young ones. I have witnessed cases of kids as young as 12 years old that were pressured by older gang members to do the dirty work. The drugs that youth are being exposed to today is not just marijuana. They're more addicting and lethal than they were 15 years ago. Youth are not only facing stronger temptations, but are being exposed to these things at an earlier age. As a living testimony, school and after-school programs are top resources that are effective tools to help keep youth out of jail. This will help keep a young person's mind preoccupied with positive disciplines, such as joining a club, playing sports, or even being tutored by a positive role model. My question to our Mayor Wilson and our city councilors is, what opportunity away from our young ones that will have a long-lasting positive impact in their lives? These tools are not only necessary, but life-altering. They're worth every cent.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to advocate. And I also want to thank all the audience members and everyone who has spoken up. It's important. Please continue to do so. It means a lot. My name is Jamie Dosher, and I'm the president of 483. We represent all of the workers, or a lot of workers in parks, PBOT, BES across the city of Portland. My day job is in recreation over at East Portland Community Center, and I've grown up in this area. The current budget proposal includes cutting over 270 jobs, 100 of which are 483 members. 11% of those cuts, or only 32, are for non-rep. That means that the majority of these budget savings are on the backs of frontline represented labor. These cuts, whether they're in parks, recreation, transportation, would devastate our workforce and the services our communities rely on. Please prioritize funding towards forward-facing positions in the upcoming budget. Cutting positions like these will result in fewer services, more maintenance backlog, and dirtier parks at a time that we're already struggling to keep up with the demand. As a side note, I'm actually a parent out in Clackamas community, or Clackamas in Milwaukee. Trying to find programming for my child in that area is abysmal compared to what Parks offers. And as a rec professional, I'm already frustrated that we're not able to keep up with the demand that Portland deserves. Please do not make us cut that even worse or even more. Our workers take pride in what they do. Please keep our workforce intact so that we can continue to make Portland a place that people want to visit and call home. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Greg Nicholas. I'm out of District 2 in Ann. I'm one of those supporting Golden Ball and Son. I've been a Golden Ball volunteer for Scott Golden Ball, which represents Scott School, for the last 4 years. It is a Title I school that has one of the largest enrollments in PPS K through 5. We have many challenges. We've made a considerable effort asking and challenging families with means to help provide basically scholarships for those that could not otherwise do it. And these kids, I mean, this is a stage in their life, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. They're entering the most impressionable, vulnerable stages of their lives where they have a lot more questions than answers. And if we can get leadership involved and volunteers, I've heard that over and over again, and the value that we can bring as a community to help these kids make good decisions and provide environments that gives them opportunities to compete with them amongst their peers, amongst their neighbors in a positive way, I think we're giving them valuable lessons. I think it's really important. One, I want to put the people on the table on the spot. Have you attended a PPR sports event in the last 2 years? Great nods, because if you see the enthusiasm, the positivity, you'll be amazed. And when you see them receive their uniform at the beginning of the season, their joy is incredible. And I do not want to take that away from them. And let's not privatize youth sports. That's what the suburbs do. The city shouldn't. Okay. Oh, one other thing really quick. If we're talking about budget, why do we print this on color? Thank you.
Ellie Woods, William Underwood, Caleb Coder, Emily Hutzel, Emmanuel Zitlo Popoka, Zoe Jackson, and Tom.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. My name is William Underwood. I'm a Parkrose resident of over 20 years, and I've lived in Portland most of my adult life. In that time, I've seen our city change and grow. And through all the different things that have happened, including a financial crisis, a pandemic, the very wealthiest among us have suffered not at all. Their wealth has increased year after year. Inequality has increased year after year. This sadly is not my first rodeo. In 2018, I was also at city budget hearings when there were other cuts to parks and community centers. So I'd like to take this opportunity. I don't know what the answers are for this current budget crisis, but I don't think we should have to beg for what is the major metropolitan city in the region. Why can't we afford these community services? It is time to go where the revenue is. And the other thing about PSEF, which passed about the same time in 2018, people voted for that because politicians would not go for that revenue for needed climate change resiliency for underserved people. So it's not just lying around. We had the courage to vote for that. So I'm asking electeds to go for where the revenue is and leave PSEF for voted for. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zoe Jackson, and I'm on the first Centennial Middle School cheer team. This year, I just moved from Tennessee, and I've had to change my hobbies multiple times. When I was introduced to the SUN program, I learned for a lot of times that the kids in the SUN program now have been in there since kindergarten. They have learned to make new friends and learned how to do things. Some programs you have wrestling, student council, basketball, cheer, D&D, and flag football. When I hear these activities, I hear one word, teamwork. And everything kids are taught in this century is teamwork. I have went around and asked my regular school teachers if SUN is important for kids, and 7 out of 7 of them said yes. Taking SUN from kids is like taking water from plants. It makes plants and kids droopy and sad. Thank you for listening to my speech. Let Portland schools stay sunny so kids can be happy. Thank you.
Last call for Caleb Coder, Emily Hutzel, Emmanuel Zatla Popoka, or Tom. Well, thank you everyone for coming this evening, taking your time to share your thoughts. We really appreciate it. As I mentioned, the results from the budget exercise, the budget reduction prioritization exercise will be shared online, and we will share your questions as well. Thank you again and have a good evening.